Hi guys, this is the Lazy Judge here doing a very quick tutorial on using Blender as a video editing medium. Alright, so I was asked by one of my subscribers the other day, how do I actually manage to get all my video elements put together, and what I use is Blender. In the description below I will leave a link to Blender. Now this is not going to be a tutorial about heavy cutting and pasting and heavy editing. This is just how, if you possibly have an intro to your video that you want to upload to YouTube, just how to get those things put together, and also if you've been recording your video in sections, how to get all these put together. Right, now when you start up with Blender, oh by the way, and if you like this tutorial, please smack that thumbs up button, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Right, having gotten all the commercial stuff out of the way, let's get on with it. Okay, as you can see, I'm working with Blender 2.78, which is the latest edition that I have up to date. As I said, I'll leave a link in the description below. So let's just get to it. Right, so to get rid of this pesky screen over here, just click on it and it's gone. Right, so what we do now to start off with, obviously we're not going to do our video editing in this screen over here. So what we do is right at the top over here, we have got a little drop box that says default. Next to that, you're going to click on the arrow and you go down to video editing, and you're going to be smack with the screen over here. So what we do now, well, what I like to do in any case, is I like to set up my properties windows right over here, and we're going to use that in a moment. Also, what I want to do, okay, very quickly, this is the properties window, so this is the preview window, and this is your editing window. Alright, so what I also like to do is, this is currently running in 24 frames per second, so this is going to be roughly about 25 seconds over here. So we're going to, because your video is probably going to be longer than 25 seconds, we're going to change that just for ease of use. For right now, we're going to change that to 25,000, which is going to give you, well, a lot more than that, isn't it? Alright, so, and smack enter. Alright, so now this is not 10 seconds anymore, this is a hell of a lot longer. Right, so now we want to get our first video section placed in here. So you hover your mouse cursor over here, you press Shift and A, and it's going to bring this up, and you're going to click on movie because you want to select a movie file, and then you're going to bear in mind that this is all single click on this side. On the other side it's single click as well. So we're going to go to desktop because that's where I save all my videos to, and then we are going to go, in my case I go to my YouTube recordings, which is single click, remember. Well actually, you know what, I want to put my intro in first, so let's go there and we select the intro. Right, now if you want to make this a little bit smaller so you can actually see what you're doing, just scroll down on your mouse button, on your mouse wheel. Right, so you will see that these two are slightly out of alignment. Right, so what we're going to do to fix that is we actually take this 30 frames per second over there and put it to 29.97, which is going to bring these two nicely in alignment. Right, so next thing, if you are going to preview this thing scrolling around, you will notice that it's going to be very jittery on top. So to fix that, we go to the right hand panel over here and scroll down, and we get to a proxy timecode. We're going to select that. We're going to leave that at 25%, and we are going to say rebuild proxy timecode. And what this is going to do is going to bring this window over here and this window over here into alignment. Over here you are going to hover over the window and press N. It's going to bring up this over here, and we are going to take the render size, set it to 25%, unless you've set the bottom one over here to 50%, in which case you'll set this to 50%. Right, so now you will see that it is nice and smooth. Alright, so now you're going to select the area where you're going to put in your next video section, which I like to do it round about over there. Now you want to place a marker over here, and the reason for this will become apparent in a second. Alright, so to place a marker, you hover your cursor over this window and press M. Alright, and this will place a marker over there. Now you've accidentally clicked away from that, and there's no ways that you can get directly back onto that. So what we do is we go to the bottom over here, and there it says marker. You click on that, and you say jump to previous marker, and presto voila, you are right back on where you started. Now if you're going to paste in your next video section, that is going to be placed on this line over here, on this green line over here. Alright, so we want to get that to as close to possible to that marker. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hover over here again and Shift A, and we're going to select our next movie section. So we click one up over here, and now we're going to go to the recordings. So as you can see, I've got a couple of file recordings over here. We're not going to use all of them. Just for the sake of this video, we're going to use one or two of them. Alright, so we double click on that, and that's going to insert it into here for us. Now, just so we can see what's going on, I'm just going to scroll down on the mouse button, on the mouse wheel, just so we can see how long the sucker really is. Okay, so here we've got the end. You see they're beautifully aligned. Now remember, once again, we want to scroll to the bottom over here. I click on that proxy time code, alright, and just rebuild the proxy time code just to get everything nice in alignment. Now this is going to take a moment. It's going to go through there. As you can see, the percentages are counting up. Alright, so we're just going to wait for that very quickly. You don't have to do this. If you know you're only going to insert one, you're not going to use any previews from there, you're not going to cut anything out, you're not going to scroll up and down with your green bar, then you don't really have to do this. I just like to do this because I do a lot of cutting and pasting in my videos, or when I'm editing my videos. So we're on 50% now. Let's just give it a moment. Now, in the beginning, when you start using Blender, it looks extremely intimidating, and believe me, it really is intimidating. But once you get around that and you start getting used to using Blender, it's not really that bad, unless you start doing animations, which my intro is. And in a later video, I will actually show you guys how I did that. But for now, let's just focus on this. Right, we're at 90%. Let's just wait for that to finish very quickly, and we're almost done. Right, there we go, and it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to find the spot where we want to stick our next one, and you're going to find the very end of your video, and just before that we're going to place another marker. Right, now we're going to leave it over there, and just for the sake of this video, I am just going to insert one more file. Here we go. Let's take the very next file. Right, let's see. Okay, now you will see that we have not gone all the way to the end. Okay, let me just show you what happens if you don't rebuild your time. Alright, this is what happens, which is what we're trying to avoid. Right, so now we are going to find the very end of the video there, and we are going to see here what your value is, and this is now the end of the video, so we're not going to add anything more over there. So you're going to enter the same value that you find from there, you're going to enter into here. Alright, now when we press enter, your gray section, now this is your whole working environment. Right, so we are going to accept this is the end, and we're not going to add anything more to this. So now how do we save this? Before you click on any of these tabs at the top over here, first thing that you want to do, you want to change this PNG to MPEG. Otherwise you're going to be stuck with a crap load of images, because otherwise this will render all into images, and it is going to be a nightmare getting rid of all of those. Alright, so I use the PNG, and now you're going to click on the encoding. I like to use MPEG 4, just because I know it's a codec that is on my computer, and then MPEG 4 over there. If you know the codecs and you want to use different codecs, that's entirely up to you. Now also, before we go further, if we render this now, we're going to have no sound because there's no audio codec selected. So you come right to the bottom and you select your audio codec. Now I select normally either AC3 or AAC because I know I've got those codecs. Leave everything else as standard. Alright, so now the next step is going to be selecting where are we going to say. As you can see, I made that mistake of not changing the PNG, and I am now stuck with a buttload of PNGs that I still have to delete. Alright, so I save mine to BlenderVids. We are going to give this a name. Let's call this tutorial. That's once I figure out how to type, and then .mp4. Right. So, and we're going to click on accept. Alright, we're going to accept. Right, there we go. Now we are basically all done. So all you need to do now is to render the sucker. And to do that, we are going to click on the animation. Alright, and we're going to click on animation, and it's going to start doing the render thing. And as you can see, my intro is rendering in. This is going to count off the frames. Alright, and this is going to take a moment. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to pause the video, and I am going to come back once this is done rendering, and I'll show you the end result. And then in the next video we can start cutting and pasting. In the next tutorial we can start cutting and pasting scenes out. Alright guys, I will be right back with the end of this video. Right guys, so this is finished rendering. That took about 25 minutes to render up. So as you can see, the window has completely changed now. If you want to start a new project, the easiest way I've found of doing it is to actually close down Blender and to restart. So I will just show you the result of our rendering. This is going to be a little bit on the loud side. I'll only let it transition from one scene to the next, so I'll keep my trap shut quickly and so that you guys can have a look. You want to have a look in this top right hand screen at what our results are. Here we go. Alright, as you can see, our transition from one scene to the next has been completely smooth. Just incidentally, that little bit of animation that is in the front of the video, that was also done with Blender with the Animation Studio. Alright, so guys, that is about it for this video. In the next tutorial I will handle cutting out frames and moving around frames a little bit. I'll show you guys some of that and how to use your keystrokes with your shortcuts on your keyboard. Alright, so I hope you guys have found this informative, and I am definitely looking forward to making the next video for you guys. If you have found this informative, please smack that thumbs up button, and if you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. Alright guys, this is the Lazy Judge signing off from the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.